It was a normal Tuesday morning when the sky turned red. People all over Earth looked up, confused and scared. No one knew what was happening. Then they saw them. Huge ships, bigger than any building on Earth, floating above every major city. At first, there was silence. Everyone waited, holding their breath. Then, without warning, the ships opened fire. Bright beams of light shot down from the ships, destroying everything they touched. Buildings crumbled, roads melted, and people ran screaming. It was chaos everywhere. In New York, Sarah Johnson was walking to work when it happened. She saw the giant ship appear over the city and froze in fear. When the attack started, she ran into the nearest building, a small coffee shop. Inside, people were crying and shouting, trying to understand what was going on. "It's aliens," someone yelled. "We're being invaded." Sarah couldn't believe it. Aliens weren't real, were they? But as she looked out the window and saw the destruction, she knew it was true. Earth was under attack by beings from another world. Meanwhile, in a military base somewhere in the USA, General Mark Thompson was barking orders. Soldiers ran back and forth, preparing for a fight they never expected. "Get our jets in the air now," he shouted. "I want every weapon we have ready to fire." But as the first fighter jets took off, everyone realized how outmatched they were. The alien ships were too big, too strong. Earth's most powerful weapons barely scratched them. In London, Prime Minister Emily Davis called an emergency meeting. Leaders from all over the world joined through video calls, their faces pale with fear. "We need to work together," Davis said. "This is no longer about individual countries. The entire human race is at risk." For the first time in history, all countries agreed. They would fight as one against this new enemy. Back in New York, Sarah and the others in the coffee shop watched in horror as the alien ship continued its attack. But then, something unexpected happened. A group of police officers and firefighters started organizing people. "We need to fight back," one officer shouted. "Grab anything you can use as a weapon." Sarah was surprised to find herself picking up a chair. She was scared, but also angry. These aliens had no right to attack her home. All over the world, similar scenes played out. People grabbed whatever they could: kitchen knives, baseball bats, even rocks. They weren't going to give up without a fight. In China, a young engineer named Lai Wei had an idea. He quickly gathered his coworkers, and they started working on a plan. If they could hack into the alien ship's computers, maybe they could shut them down. Hours passed. The attack continued, but something was changing. Humans were fighting back, and in some places, they were winning. General Thompson received a surprising report. "Sir, our troops in Chicago managed to bring down one of the smaller ships." For the first time since the attack began, Thompson smiled. "How did they do it?" "They used an old missile, sir. Something the aliens didn't expect. It seems they can't detect our older technology as well." This news spread quickly. Soon, militaries around the world were digging out their oldest weapons. They weren't as flashy as the new ones, but they worked. As night fell, the tide was turning. Humans had suffered heavy losses, but they were pushing back. The aliens who expected an easy victory found themselves facing a determined enemy. In the White House, the President of the United States prepared to address the world. His speech was short but powerful. "People of Earth, we are under attack, but we are not defeated. Today, we have shown that humanity will not go quietly. We will fight, we will survive, and we will win." As millions watched this speech on whatever devices still worked, a new feeling spread. It wasn't just fear anymore. Now there was hope and determination. The Galactic Council had made a big mistake. They attacked humanity thinking it would be easy. They were wrong. This was just the beginning, and humanity was ready to show the universe what they were made of. 3 days after the initial attack, the world was a different place. The constant sound of battles filled the air. Smoke rose from cities around the globe. But something else was happening too, something the aliens didn't expect. In an underground bunker in Geneva, world leaders gathered. It was the first time in history that every country was represented in one room. Old enemies sat side by side, united by a common threat. President Chen of China stood up. "We must put aside our differences," he said. "The survival of our species depends on it." Prime Minister Singh of India nodded. "Agreed. We need to share all our resources and knowledge." One by one, each leader agreed. They signed a new treaty, the Earth Defense Pact. It was a promise to work together, to share everything they had in the fight against the aliens. Meanwhile, in a secret lab in Tokyo, Dr. Yuki Tanaka made an exciting discovery. She had been studying a piece of alien technology from a crashed ship. "Look at this," she shouted to her team. "Their computers use a completely different system than ours, but I think I can understand it." Her discovery was immediately shared with scientists around the world. In labs everywhere, people worked day and night to unlock the secrets of alien tech. In Brazil, a group of hackers led by Maria Souza had an idea. "If we can understand their computers," Maria said, "maybe we can hack them." They started working on a virus that could infect the alien ships. It was a long shot, but it gave people hope. Back in New York, Sarah Johnson had joined a citizen defense group. They patrolled the streets, helping people and fighting back against alien ground troops. "I never thought I'd be doing this," Sarah said as she helped an old man out of a collapsed building. "But we have to protect each other." All over the world, similar groups formed. People who were once ordinary citizens, teachers, shop owners, students, became soldiers in Earth's defense. In military bases, a new strategy was forming. General Thompson met with commanders from other countries. "We can't match their technology," he said, "but we have something they don't: creativity and unpredictability." They started planning guerrilla-style attacks. Small, fast teams would strike the aliens and then disappear. It wasn't a way to win the war, but it kept the aliens off balance. In Africa, a young boy named Kwame made an important discovery. He noticed that the alien ships avoided areas with lots of water. "Look," he told his village elder, "they'd never fly over Lake Victoria." This information spread quickly. Soon, people were gathering near lakes and oceans for safety. Underwater bases became new centers of resistance. In Antarctica, a team of researchers made another breakthrough. Dr. Emily Rodriguez found a way to jam the aliens' communication signals. "It's not perfect," she explained over a global video call, "but it can confuse them for short periods." This discovery changed the way battles were fought. Human forces would jam alien signals, attack quickly, then retreat before the aliens could respond. As weeks passed, humanity started to see small victories. They were still outgunned, but they were learning, adapting, and most importantly, working together. In refugee camps around the world, people from different countries and cultures lived side by side. They shared food, stories, and hope. An old Japanese man taught young American children how to make origami. "To keep your spirits up," he said with a smile. A Kenyan woman showed European families how to cook with limited supplies. "We will survive together," she said. In orbit around Earth, astronauts from different space agencies worked together on the International Space Station. They became humanity's eyes in the sky, warning about alien ship movements. As the first month of the war ended, humanity had changed. They were battered but not broken. They had lost much but gained a new unity. In his nightly broadcast, a reporter summed up the feeling. "We are no longer American or Chinese, Russian or Brazilian. We are humans, and we will defend our home together." The Galactic Council had wanted to crush humanity quickly. Instead, they had forged it into something stronger than ever before. The real battle was just beginning. 2 months into the war, scientists made a startling discovery. Dr. Aisha Patel, a geneticist in Mumbai, was studying blood samples from soldiers who had survived close encounters with alien weapons. "This is incredible," she muttered, staring at her computer screen. She quickly called for a global conference. Hours later, researchers from around the world listened as Dr. Paddle explained her findings. "Humans have a unique ability to adapt quickly," she said. "Our bodies are changing to resist alien weapons." This news spread like wildfire. People everywhere began to feel a new sense of hope. They weren't just fighting back. Their very bodies were evolving to face the threat. In a military hospital in Berlin, a wounded soldier named Hans woke up. He had been hit by an alien energy weapon, but to everyone's surprise, he was healing faster than normal. "I feel different," Hans told the doctors. "Stronger somehow." Similar reports came in from all over. Humans were becoming more resistant to alien attacks with each passing day. It wasn't enough to win the war, but it gave them a fighting chance. Meanwhile, in the Australian outback, a group of Aboriginal elders shared an ancient secret with military leaders. They knew of underground caves that could hide entire communities. "Our ancestors used these during hard times," one elder explained. "Now they can protect us all." Soon, hidden cities began to form in caves and underground spaces around the world. These became safe havens where humans could rest, plan, and prepare for their next moves. In North America, a team of engineers led by Carlos Mendez had been studying alien ship movements. They noticed something odd. "Look at this pattern," Carlos said, pointing to a map. "The aliens always attack in straight lines. They never adapt their strategy." This observation led to a breakthrough in military tactics. Human forces began setting traps, using the aliens' predictable behavior against them. In Africa, tribes known for their hunting skills taught soldiers how to move silently and strike quickly. These lessons were shared globally, creating a new kind of warrior, silent, fast, and deadly. Sarah Johnson, now a leader in the New York Resistance, put these skills to use. Her team snuck into an alien camp at night, sabotaged their equipment, and escaped without a single shot fired. "We're learning to be ghosts," Sarah told her team. "And ghosts can't be caught." As humans adapted, the aliens seemed to grow frustrated. Their attacks became more aggressive but less effective. They weren't used to an enemy that kept changing tactics. In a secret meeting, the Earth Defense Council discussed this new development. General Thompson spoke up. "We've discovered their weakness. They can't handle unpredictability." The council agreed on a new strategy: chaos. They would launch random attacks, use unexpected weapons, and keep the aliens guessing. This plan was put into action immediately. In Japan, sumo wrestlers charged alien ground troops, their massive bodies surprisingly effective against the invaders. In Brazil, soccer players used their kicking skills to launch makeshift bombs with incredible accuracy. Even children played a part. In England, a group of kids used toy drones to scout alien positions, their small size making them hard to detect. The aliens, used to fighting with advanced technology, didn't know how to respond to these unconventional methods. As the third month of the war began, humanity's hidden strength was fully revealed. It wasn't just their adaptable bodies or clever tactics. It was their spirit, the unwillingness to give up, the ability to find hope in the darkest times. In refugee camps, in underground cities, in resistance bases, people shared stories of small victories. Each tale boosted morale and inspired new ideas. An old man in Russia remembered how his grandfather had fought in World War I. He said, "The strongest weapon is the human soul on fire." The old man told the youngsters around him. Now I understand what he meant. Across the world, that fire was burning bright. Humans were no longer just surviving. They were starting to push back. In their ships high above Earth, the aliens watched in confusion. They had expected an easy conquest. Instead, they found themselves facing an enemy unlike any they had encountered before. The war was far from over, but for the first time, victory seemed possible. Humanity had found its hidden strength, and they were ready to use it. 6 months had passed since the aliens first attacked. Earth was scared but not defeated. In secret bases around the world, humans were getting ready for something big. In a hidden facility under the Rocky Mountains, Dr. Lai Wei stood in front of a strange-looking ship. It wasn't like anything humans had built before. Its sleek design mimicked the alien vessels, but inside, it was pure human ingenuity. "We've done it," Dr. Lai announced to the gathered officials. "We've reverse-engineered their technology. We can now build ships that can travel through space like theirs." The room erupted in cheers. This was the breakthrough they had been waiting for. Thousands of miles away, in a repurposed car factory in Detroit, production lines hummed day and night. They were building weapons based on alien tech, but with a human twist. Sarah Johnson, now a colonel, inspected the new guns. "These pack quite a punch," she said, hefting one. "And they're powered by something the aliens would never expect: old car batteries." The use of simple, Earth-based power sources made these weapons hard for aliens to detect. It was just one of many surprises humans had in store. In orbit, the International Space Station had been transformed into a military command center. Astronauts and soldiers worked side by side, planning humanity's first steps into interstellar war. Commander Elena Rodriguez looked at the star map. "We know where their home systems are now," she said. "It's time we took the fight to them." Back on Earth, training camps sprung up everywhere. People from all walks of life volunteered to be part of the counterattack. In one camp in Kenya, a former school teacher named Amani was teaching hand-to-hand combat. "The aliens rely too much on their technology," she told her students. "In close quarters, we have the advantage." Meanwhile, in the seas, submarines were being retrofitted with new tech. They would be humanity's secret weapon, able to approach alien worlds undetected. Captain Yuki Tanaka, once a scientist, now commanded one of these subs. "We're the silent knife," she told her crew. "We'll strike before they even know we're there." As preparations continued, leaders faced a tough decision. They couldn't defend Earth and attack the aliens at the same time. Some people would have to stay behind. In a global broadcast, the Earth Defense Council explained the plan. "We need volunteers," they said. "Some to go and fight, others to stay and protect our home." The response was overwhelming. Millions stepped forward, ready to do their part. Among them was Hans, the soldier who had first shown signs of adapting to alien weapons. "I'll go," he said. "My body can handle their attacks better. I should be on the front lines." Others, like the Aboriginal elders in Australia, chose to stay. "We'll keep our people safe," they promised, "and we'll be here when you return." As the launch date approached, final preparations were made. Every ship was loaded with supplies, every weapon checked and rechecked. Dr. Aisha Patel, whose discovery of human adaptation had changed the course of the war, had one last surprise. "We've developed a treatment," she announced. "It speeds up the body's natural adaptation to alien environments. Our soldiers will be able to breathe on many alien worlds." This news was met with excitement and relief. It meant humans could fight on alien terrain without cumbersome spacesuits. The night before the launch, people around the world held vigils. They lit candles, sang songs, and shared meals. It was a moment of unity unlike anything in human history. In New York, Sarah walked through the streets, remembering the day the aliens first attacked. "We've come so far," she thought, looking at the rebuilt buildings and determined faces around her. As dawn broke, the first ships prepared for takeoff. Humanity was about to venture into the stars, not as explorers, but as warriors fighting for their very existence. On every continent, in every country, people watched the skies. Their hearts were filled with a mix of fear and hope. The counterattack was about to begin. The aliens had started this war. Now, humanity was ready to end it. The day had finally come. Earth's first interstellar fleet was ready to launch. As the ships rose into the sky, millions watched from below, their hearts filled with hope and fear. Colonel Sarah Johnson stood on the bridge of the flagship, Earth Hope. She looked at her crew, a mix of soldiers and civilians from all over the world. "This is it," she said. "We're taking the fight to them." The journey through space was unlike anything they had experienced. Using the reverse-engineered alien technology, they traveled faster than light, watching stars blur past their windows. After what felt like both moments and eternity, they arrived at their first target, an alien outpost on a small moon. It was time to put their plans into action. Captain Yuki Tanaka's submarine-turned-spaceship slipped silently towards the moon's surface. Her crew was nervous but determined. They landed without detection, just as planned. "Remember your training," Yuki whispered as they exited the ship. "We're here to disable their communications. Quick and quiet." Meanwhile, in orbit, Sarah's fleet engaged the alien defenses. The battle was fierce, but the human ships were nimble and unpredictable. They darted and weaved, confusing the alien targeting systems. Hans, now a squad leader, led the ground assault. His team moved swiftly through the alien base, their adapted bodies allowing them to withstand the harsh environment. "They don't expect us to be here," Hans grinned as they planted explosives on key structures. "Let's show them how humans fight." Back on the Earth Hope, Dr. Lai Wei worked furiously at his console. He was trying to hack into the alien systems using the knowledge they had gained. "Almost there," he muttered, his fingers flying over the keys. Suddenly, the alien defenses started to falter. "I'm in," Lai shouted triumphantly. With their communications down and defenses compromised, the aliens were thrown into chaos. They had never faced an enemy that could match their technology and surpass their tactics. As news of the victory spread through the human fleet, cheers erupted on every ship, but Sarah knew this was just the beginning. "Prepare for the next jump," she ordered. "We have more targets to hit." Over the next few weeks, humanity's fleet struck alien outposts and colonies across several star systems. Each attack was different, using a mix of stealth, hacking, and direct confrontation. On one planet, they allied with a local species that had been enslaved by the Galactic Council. Amani, the former teacher turned combat instructor, found herself teaching alien rebels how to fight their oppressors. "Doesn't matter if you have 2 arms or 6, she told her strange new students. "The spirit of resistance is universal." Word of the human attacks spread quickly through the galaxy. Alien worlds that had once looked down on Earth now spoke of humans in hushed, fearful tones. "They come out of nowhere," one alien commander reported to the Galactic Council. "They fight like no species we've ever seen, and they keep adapting to everything we throw at them." The Council was stunned. What they had dismissed as a simple conquest was turning into a nightmare. They had awakened a force they couldn't control. As the human fleet pushed deeper into alien territory, they discovered something surprising. Not all alien species supported the Council's attack on Earth. Some reached out in secret, offering help and information. Dr. Aisha Patel found herself working with alien scientists who were fascinated by human adaptability. Together, they developed new technologies that combined the best of both worlds. Back on Earth, people followed the fleet's progress with growing excitement. Each victory boosted morale and sparked new innovations. Humanity was changing, growing stronger and more united with each passing day. In the depths of space, Sarah looked out at the stars from the bridge of the Earth Hope. They had come so far, but the real battle was just beginning. The Galactic Council's homeworld lay ahead, and with it, the chance to end the war once and for all. "We started this journey to save Earth," Sarah thought, "but we might end up changing the entire galaxy." With determination in their hearts and the spirit of humanity driving them forward, the fleet prepared for their greatest challenge yet. The stars themselves seemed to hold their breath, waiting to see what these surprising humans would do next. After months of battles across the stars, humanity's fleet finally approached the heart of the Galactic Council's power. The Council's home system was heavily guarded, with thousands of ships and advanced defense stations. Colonel Sarah Johnson called a meeting on the Earth Hope. "This is it," she told the assembled leaders. "Everything we fought for comes down to this moment." Dr. Lai Wei presented their plan. "We can't match their numbers," he said, "but we have surprise on our side. They still don't understand how we think." The plan was daring. While the main fleet engaged the alien defenses, a small team would slip through to the Council's Central Command Center. Their mission: to deliver a message that would end the war. Hans volunteered to lead the strike team. "My body can handle whatever they throw at us," he said. "We'll get it done." As the human fleet appeared in the system, alarms blared across alien ships. The Galactic Council was shocked. How had these primitives from Earth managed to reach their most secure stronghold? The battle that followed was like nothing the galaxy had ever seen. Human ships darted between massive alien dreadnoughts, their unpredictable movements confusing enemy targeting systems. On the Earth Hope's bridge, Sarah coordinated the attack. "Group A, dive towards the station," she ordered. "Group B, cover their approach." Meanwhile, Yuki's stealth ship slipped past the chaos of the main battle. On board, Hans and his team prepared for their mission. Each member carried a piece of Earth with them, a reminder of what they were fighting for. As the battle raged, Dr. Aisha Patel worked with their alien allies to broadcast a message across the system. "People of the galaxy," the message said, "the Council has lied to you about humans. We come not as conquerors, but seeking justice." This broadcast caused confusion among the alien forces. Some ships stopped firing, their crews unsure of what to believe. Taking advantage of this hesitation, Yuki's ship landed on the massive space station that housed the Council's Central Command. Hans and his team quickly exited, fighting their way through surprised alien guards. Back in the space battle, things were looking grim for the human fleet. Despite their bravery and cunning, they were outnumbered. Ships were falling, their crews making heroic last stands. Sarah gritted her teeth, watching the casualties mount. "Hold the line," she commanded. "We just need to give Hans more time." Inside the station, Hans and his team faced fierce resistance. They pushed forward, using every trick and tactic they had learned. Finally, they reached the council chambers. The alien leaders cowered as the humans burst in. They had never expected to face these primitives in person. Hans stepped forward, his eyes scanning the room. He spotted the main communication terminal and nodded to one of his team members, who quickly began typing. Across the galaxy, on every alien world and ship, screens suddenly came to life. The face of a human appeared, tired, scared, but undefeated. "To the Galactic Council, and all who serve them," Hans said, his voice ringing out across the stars, "we have a simple message for you." He paused, letting the tension build. Aliens everywhere held their breath, waiting to hear what this surprising species would say. "Run." That single word, spoken calmly but with unmistakable determination, sent shockwaves through the galaxy. Hans continued, "You attacked our world, thinking us weak. You underestimated humanity's strength, our unity, our will to survive. We did not start this war, but we are here to finish it." He looked directly into the camera, his eyes blazing. "Leave our world, our system, and never return, or face the consequences of awakening humanity's full potential." As his message ended, chaos erupted across the alien fleet. Some ships immediately began to retreat. Others turned on each other, old rivalries flaring up in the face of this new threat. On the Earth Hope, Sarah watched in amazement as the mighty Galactic Council armada began to crumble. "They're running," she whispered, hardly daring to believe it. The human fleet, battered but unbroken, held their position. They had done the impossible. They had taken the fight to the heart of their enemy and emerged victorious. As the Council's ships fled, a cheer went up across the human fleet. It started small but grew until it echoed across the stars. Humanity had not just survived, they had changed the course of galactic history. The war wasn't over, but in that moment, every human knew The galaxy would never be the same again. In the weeks following humanity's bold strike against the Galactic Council, the galaxy was in turmoil. The once mighty council had crumbled, its members fleeing or begging for peace. Humanity, the underdog that had shocked the stars, now found itself in an unexpected position. Galactic peacekeepers. Colonel Sarah Johnson, now Admiral, stood on the observation deck of the Earth Hope, watching alien ships approach. These weren't enemies, but representatives from dozens of worlds seeking alliance or protection. "I never thought we'd be in this position," Sarah said to Dr. Lai Wei, who stood beside her. Lai nodded. "We came to defend Earth. Now we're reshaping the galaxy." On Earth, celebrations had given way to serious discussions. World leaders debated humanity's new role in the cosmos. Some wanted to retreat, to focus on rebuilding their battered world. Others saw an opportunity to ensure Earth's safety by taking a leading role in galactic affairs. In the end, they chose a middle path. Earth would engage with the galaxy, but remain cautious. They had learned the hard way that the universe could be a dangerous place. Hans, the soldier who had delivered humanity's warning to the Council, now led diplomatic missions to alien worlds. His adapted body, able to survive on various planets, made him the perfect ambassador. On one such world, a planet of towering crystal spires, Hans met with the local leaders. "We don't want to rule you," he explained. "We want to work together to build a galaxy where no species tries to dominate another." The aliens, beings of living crystal, seemed skeptical at first, but as Hans shared stories of Earth's struggle and triumph, they began to understand. By the end of the meeting, a new alliance was formed. Back on Earth, Amani, the teacher-turned-combat instructor, found a new calling. She started a school where humans and friendly aliens could learn from each other. "Understanding is the key to peace," she told her diverse students. In orbit around Earth, a new station was being built. It would serve as a neutral ground for galactic diplomacy. Dr. Aisha Patel led the project, working with scientists from a dozen worlds to create a place where all species could meet comfortably. "This station represents our hope for the future," Aisha said at the opening ceremony. "A future where science and cooperation replace war and fear." Not everything was peaceful, though. Some alien species, angry at losing their power, launched attacks on human outposts. Captain Yuki Tanaka and her stealth ships became humanity's first line of defense. After repelling one such attack, Yuki addressed her crew. "We're not just defending Earth anymore," she said. "We're defending the idea of a free galaxy." As months passed, a new galactic order began to take shape. Earth became the center of a growing alliance of worlds. They called it the Galactic Cooperative, a place where all species could have a voice. But with this new role came new challenges. Humanity had to be careful not to become the very thing they had fought against. They had to balance their power with wisdom and restraint. In a speech to the newly formed Galactic Senate, Admiral Sarah Johnson addressed these concerns. "We remember what it was like to be the underdog," she said. "We will never forget that feeling. It will guide us as we move forward together." The galaxy watched and waited, wondering what these surprising humans would do next. Some species joined the cooperative eagerly, while others held back, cautious of this young race that had achieved so much so quickly. On Earth, life began to return to normal, though changed forever. Children played with alien toys. Adults worked on projects that spanned star systems. The horizon of human imagination had expanded to encompass the entire galaxy. As the first year of this new era came to a close, humanity looked to the stars with a mix of pride, excitement, and caution. They had survived extinction, overthrown a galactic power, and begun to forge a new future for all species. The warning they had given, "Run," had transformed into an invitation, "Join us." And across the galaxy, on countless worlds circling countless stars, beings of all shapes and sizes looked towards Earth and wondered what adventures awaited in this brave new galaxy. The story of humanity's rise was over. The story of their legacy in the stars was just beginning.